As Saul's reign progressed, the young shepherd David became a central figure in his court and in his life. After David's unexpected victory over the Philistine giant Goliath, his reputation soared. The people of Israel celebrated David's bravery and began to see him as a rising hero. Women sang in the streets, proclaiming, "Saul has slain his thousands, and David his tens of thousands." This praise ignited a deep jealousy in Saul, as he felt his authority and favor slipping away. Initially, Saul saw David as an asset, inviting him into his service as a musician. David's music brought relief to Saul's tormented spirit, offering moments of peace in his otherwise troubled mind. Saul even made David a commander in his army, trusting him with military responsibilities. David's loyalty and respect for Saul were unquestionable, and he served Saul with great faithfulness. Yet, as David continued to succeed in battle and gain the admiration of the people, Saul's insecurities grew. Saul's jealousy soon transformed into outright hatred and paranoia. Believing that David sought to take the throne, Saul began to view him as an enemy rather than a trusted ally. On several occasions, Saul tried to kill David by hurling his spear at him during fits of rage. When these attempts failed, he devised other plans, even offering his daughter Michal's hand in marriage, hoping that David would fall in battle against the Philistines. Yet, David's loyalty never wavered, and he continued to honor Saul as the Lord's anointed, despite Saul's persistent attempts on his life. David's respect for Saul was tested repeatedly as Saul's pursuit intensified. David was forced to flee, becoming a fugitive, as Saul relentlessly hunted him across the land. In one dramatic encounter, David had the opportunity to kill Saul while hiding in a cave where Saul had taken refuge. Instead, David spared Saul's life, cutting off a piece of his robe as proof of his mercy and respect. Confronting Saul afterward, David declared that he had no intention of harming him, saying, "I will not raise my hand against the Lord's anointed." Saul, momentarily moved by David's mercy, expressed regret and acknowledged that David would indeed one day be king. Despite this temporary reconciliation, Saul's jealousy soon returned, and he resumed his pursuit of David. Saul's obsessive desire to maintain his throne and eliminate any perceived threats drove him further from God and deeper into despair. Over time, he became isolated, consumed by fear and distrust of those around him. Saul's relationship with David serves as a tragic illustration of how jealousy can poison relationships, erode faith, and drive a person to actions they once would have abhorred. Saul's unchecked envy and inability to accept God's will ultimately led to his own undoing, costing him the loyalty of those around him and the peace he once knew. Applications. Guarding against jealousy. Saul's jealousy of David led him into a destructive cycle. We should be careful to celebrate others' successes rather than view them as threats, trusting that God has a unique plan for each of us. Choosing forgiveness over revenge. David's choice to spare Saul shows the power of forgiveness. In moments when revenge seems justified, choosing mercy can lead to healing and reflect God's character. The value of respecting authority. David's respect for Saul, even while being pursued, teaches us the importance of respecting authority, especially when it's difficult. It reminds us that God calls us to act with honor, regardless of others' actions. Jealousy leads to isolation. Saul's jealousy left him isolated and fearful, driving away those who once supported him. Harboring envy and suspicion, can damage relationships, leaving us feeling alone and insecure. Accepting God's sovereignty. Saul's inability to accept God's will for David's future led him to fight against God's plan. Trusting God's sovereignty means letting go of control and acknowledging that God's plans may not align with our desires, but they are always for the best.